Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast.
Today we're looking at meta platforms. The big question is it a good time to buy now?
We want to hear from you. Subscribe, like, and comment to support the show. And if there's a specific company you want us to look into, leave it in the comments below.
So let's get into the analysis. We took a close look through the sources you sent over. And the picture painted for meta platforms right now, it's one of rare operational success mixed with a pretty high-stakes strategic gamble.
That really sums it up, doesn't it? Because those 2024 numbers, they just defy what you'd expect from a company this huge.
Yeah. When
you look at the fundamental data we pulled together, it's not just big, it feels like it's accelerating somehow.
Right. We saw revenue hitting, was $164.50 billion. That's a strong 21.9% year-over-year climb.
Which is impressive on its own, but
the real story, the aha moment that kind of jumped out from the research, it isn't just the top line. It's what happened between revenue and net income. Net income surged to $62.36 billion. I mean, that's an almost 60% jump year over year, 59.5% to be exact.
Wow, nearly 60%. I find that figure almost hard to believe for a company of Meta's size.
Yeah.
Its maturity. It makes you wonder how much of that huge earnings growth is like truly sustainable operational improvement versus maybe just excellent, but possibly one-time cost cutting from that whole year of efficiency thing they pushed.
Yeah, that's the key question. And it's probably a bit of both, honestly. But the sources really emphasize sustainability through margin expansion, that huge jump in net income. It proves that scale can actually coexist with lean operations. People kind of doubted that for big tech before.
Right.
Their trailing 12-month net margin is sitting at 40.0%. That's just industry leading.
40% net margin.
Yeah. It just shows how incredibly efficient their ad engine, their targeting, all of that has become. They're basically printing money faster with every dollar of revenue they bring in.
And the market clearly buys it, right? They seem to think this is a structural shift, not just a temporary bump.
Exactly. The consensus forecasts for 2025 sales, they're pinned right around $200 billion. $200.07 billion, actually.
Okay, so another big jump expected.
Expecting another, 21.6% increase on top of the huge 2024 base? That shows tremendous conviction. Sustaining high teens, low 20s, top-line growth when you're already that big is really rare.
It is, and you see that conviction with the analysts covering them, too.
Mm-hmm. It's a strong buy consensus from, I think, 44 analysts. And many of them keep bumping up their guidance even when you'd think growth rates should be slowing down.
Okay, so the growth story is strong, the profits are strong. But before we move on, we have to touch on the financial foundation holding all this up.
Oh, absolutely.
Our source is called the balance sheet fortress-like, which, that sounds about right. They're sitting on cash and marketable securities over $65 billion.
And crucially, Meta is net cash positive. That means very little balance sheet risk.
Yeah.
They've basically got this war chest that lets them make these huge strategic moves without worrying about debt or liquidity.
And all that free cash flow is now doing two key things for shareholders.
Right. First, there's the new dividend. It's modest, sure, $2.10 per share, yields about 0.28%. But the signal is the important part.
What's the signal?
It tells the market, look, we're done being the wild growth at all costs teenager. We're a mature, capital-allocating powerhouse now.
Gotcha. And the second thing?
Ongoing share buybacks. They're doing both, investing aggressively in the future and returning capital. It's really a sign of maturity for a company that's still growing so fast.
Okay, speaking of investing aggressively, let's talk about what protects that growth. The moat.
Yeah, the competitive advantage. When you look at the research, it's clearly built on those network effects. You've got Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger.
Billions of users on each.
Billions, all dominating their space. That kind of global reach, that data infrastructure, it's essentially impossible to replicate.
But what's interesting now is how they're choosing to defend and, I guess, extend that moat.
Right. It's through this aggressive AI-first strategy.
This feels like the pivot point in the story, moving from just operational excellence to this really high-stakes bet.
Totally. We've seen the innovation continue, like that Meta AI app, Vibes, and they're still leading in AR/VR with Quest and Reality Labs. But this AI bet, it isn't just about new apps for us. It's about fundamentally rebuilding their core advertising engine, using custom silicon, generative AI, the works.
And that infrastructure commitment. That's the number that really jumped out at me. It's staggering.
Isn't it? They initiated extra spending back in August 2025, and now their capital expenditures, their CapEx, it's projected to hit between $66 billion and $72 billion for the year.
Wait, 66 to 72 billion. That's nearly half of last year's revenue.
Yeah.
And it's pretty close to their entire $65 billion cash pile. Is that debt funded, or are they just burning through that fortress?
Nope. The sources confirm it's internally funded, which just shows massive conviction.
Right.
They're essentially pouring all their free cash flow, and maybe then some, straight back into AI infrastructure, building custom chips, securing data centers, everything needed to power that AI-first future and stay ahead of rivals like Google and TikTok.
And the fact they did that specific joint venture with Blue Owl Capital just to build the Hyperion AI data center campus, that really underlines how serious this is.
Exactly. They are literally putting shovels in the ground worldwide to win this AI infrastructure race.
Okay, so massive earnings, massive spending. How's the market reacting? Let's look at the technical picture.
Sure. Looking at the stock chart as of, late October 2025, the trend is clearly bullish. No ambiguity there.
Absolutely. The price action shows strong confidence, up 43% year to date, and 66% over the last 12 months. It's just been making higher highs.
And the current price, it's sitting near the top end of its 52-week range. So for investors looking at maybe getting in, you need to watch the key levels.
What are those levels looking like?
Resistance seems to be right around $795 to $800. That's a psychological number, too. If we see a clean break above that ceiling, it probably signals the next major leg up.
And on the downside, support.
Support looks pretty solid, down between $725 and $735.
And momentum's still strong.
Yeah, the stock's trading comfortably above both its 50-day and 200-day moving averages. That's like the classic sign of a healthy bull run, institutions accumulating shares.
Okay, let's quickly demystify some jargon here. The reports mention volatility measured by beta. Meta's beta is 1.20. What does that mean for the average person?
Right, good question. So a beta of 1.0 means a stock moves perfectly in line with the overall market, say the S&P 500. A beta of 1.20, like Meta's, means it tends to move about 20% more than the market, both up and down. So it offers a bit more potential upside capture than the market average, but without being super volatile. Kind of a sweet spot for many funds.
Okay, that makes sense. Moderate volatility, strong fundamentals.
Yeah.
Seems like analysts are still on board, too.
They are. The consensus 12-month price target is around $825.75. That suggests, almost 10% potential upside from where it is now. So yeah, continued faith in that growth path.
Right, shifting gears slightly, let's talk immediate catalysts. What's driving the focus this week?
It's all about the Q3 2025 earnings release. That's due on October 29th, so right about now.
And this is the big one because
analysts aren't just looking for good. They're focused on whether these results can prove that the AI-driven ad growth is already starting to accelerate revenue beyond those already high expectations we talked about.
So they really need to knock it out of the park to break through that $800 level.
Yeah, outperformance is probably needed to really catalyze a breakout above those all-time highs.
Okay, beyond earnings, what other short-term drivers are on the radar?
Well, there's institutional flows. Things like the November ETF rebalancing can move the needle, and importantly, the December 13F filings.
Right, the 13Fs. For listeners, those are the quarterly reports showing what big money managers, hedge funds, mutual funds, what they bought and sold. Gives you a peek into smart money sentiment.
Exactly. And then there's the fun stuff. The speculative buzz.
Ah, yes, the rumors, what's floating around.
Persistent whispers, still unconfirmed though, about deeper integration of generative AI into WhatsApp and Instagram, specifically for commerce, customer service type functions.
If they pull that off, that could unlock totally new ways to make money from platforms that are mostly just communication tools right now, turning chats into transactions.
Potentially huge, yeah. And then there's that longer-term rumor that always pops up when a stock runs this high, a potential stock split maybe in 2026.
Analysts are talking about that.
Commentary suggests it's likely, given the strong share price. Now, a split doesn't change the company's actual value, but it makes shares cheaper per share, more accessible maybe for retail investors, and sometimes generates a bit of momentum.
Okay, but we need balance. Let's talk risks. What do the sources highlight?
The usual suspects for a giant company, but amplified. First, those rising operating expenses, mainly from that massive capex on AI we discussed.
$70 billion isn't cheap.
Not at all. Then there's continued regulatory scrutiny, ongoing legal challenges. That stuff never really goes away for big tech.
And Reality Labs, still burning cash.
Still unprofitable, yes. Still needs big long-term investment. But, and this is key, the core advertising business is so profitable now, it easily absorbs those losses. It's like a long-term R&D budget that doesn't really threaten the company's overall health anymore.
That makes sense. What about the regulatory risk specifically? You hear less noise about big tech maybe now compared to a couple of years ago. Are regulators keeping up with Meta's AI push, or are they more focused elsewhere like Google or TikTok?
That's a really good point. The sources kind of suggest that while regulatory risk is always there, it's structural, right? But the immediate political heat might be slightly diverted to competitors for now. However, when you bet $70 billion on AI, you are basically painting a giant target on your back for future regulatory attention. You're just too big, too central to ignore, regardless of the current political cycle.
Fair enough. And the final risk?
Just sector risk, really. Macro headwinds. If the global economy slows down significantly, ad budgets often get cut first. Meta is more diverse now, but they're not totally immune to a recession.
Okay, so let's try and bring all these threads together for you, the listener. Our analysis of the source material, it really points to an overall bullish view here. Pretty high on the scale, maybe a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I think that's fair. The thesis is really driven by that combination of things. Exceptional fundamental growth, positive technicals on the chart, and several upcoming catalysts, chief among them being Q3 earnings and whatever comes next from those AI investments.
So for the investor thinking about this now, Meta looks pretty attractive for maybe two kinds of people.
Seems that way. It looks appealing for, say, shorter-term traders hoping to play the Q3 earnings momentum or the Q4 holiday season strength. And it still looks like a core anchor stock for long-term holders who are betting on Meta's structural leadership in digital ads, AI, and social media for the next decade.
The real question you have to mull over now, though, looking at this whole picture, is whether that massive, almost eye-watering $72 billion investment in AI infrastructure, will it pay off? Will it create new non-ad revenue streams fast enough to justify pushing the valuation even higher? That's the big bet. That's the high-stakes play on Zuckerberg's long-term vision.